How we doing out there, 49ers faithful? Drew Kerr, 49ers Sports Talk. Today I'm going to be covering the depth issues and depth concerns at safety for the 49ers heading into 2024. I want to go over the current safeties, any free agent options, and how the Niners can upgrade if possible. So just getting into it real fast, real briefly, I'm just going to go over the current depth chart at safety. Obviously, Talanoa Hufanga and Ji'Ayir Brown are going to be the starters heading into the season, week one, hopefully. George Odom's a backup at strong safety. Eric Harris is the backup at free safety. And then there's Taylor Hawkins, who was a practice squad player, and that's it. They have 5 safeties, none of which really breed a whole lot of confidence going into the season. So that's what we're going to address today. Hufanga is obviously coming off a torn ACL, which happened in November. How long is it going to be before he's back, and even more so back 100%? Will he be back before training camp? The approximate heal time is 6 to 9 months. So that would put him earliest back for OTAs in May. That's a little bit ambitious to hope for that. It could happen, but, he has an injury concern, and the rehab might take just a little bit longer. The latest, you're looking at somewhere in August, just before week one. If he doesn't get those reps in preseason, is he going to be rusty week one? Is he going to be rusty for the first quarter of the season? And then this is all just barring any setbacks and rehab. Of real quick note, Hufanga's PFF grade is 70.5 and Brown's PFF grade is 77.9. Both those grades are very high, so they were playing at almost an elite level before Hufanga got hurt, and Brown sort of played that way throughout the entire season, all the way into the Super Bowl, getting that interception against Patrick Mahomes. So moving right along, I'm going to jump into some of the free agent options. I went ahead and I put together a list of things that I think would add value. The current market's a little bit, it's not great, it's not pretty, and you'll see here with this list. So I'm just going to get into it. I put together the top 15 unrestricted free agents. I have their salary here, their PFF grade, and their best surface stats. As you can see, so I've noted some of the red things are sort of red flags to me, and some of the green are good things. Anybody under 30, I think, is a good thing. With the PFF grades, I think anything above 60 is decent. Anything above 70 is a plus, and there's nobody here with any sort of 80 grades. So there's no elite safeties out there. There's nobody that's going to be an upgrade. As you saw earlier, I showed the PFF grades of Hufanga and Brown. Hufanga was a 70.5. Brown was a 77.9. So Brown almost played it at an elite level. But as you can see here, this list, I'm just going to go through it really quick. Jamal Adams, I don't think he played nearly as good as he has in the past. I'm not sure if he's washed or if he just had a really, really down year. But you can see for $11 million, his PFF grade was only 54.9. He only played for half the year, 48 tackles and 7 tackles for loss. So he was almost like a box safety. Somebody that he wasn't before. He was more of a rangy player and somebody that can get around the field and make plays. But in Seattle, he just couldn't do that. So Justin Simmons, I've seen his name attached a lot to the Niners. He is 30, so I have him in that red category. His salary is definitely in that red category. There's no way that if he's expecting that type of money that the Niners would be able to pay him $14.4 million. He does have the second best grade on this list at 67.9 though. He only missed 2 games last year. He had 3 picks, 8 passes defensed. He was a second team All-Pro, and he did make the Pro Bowl though. So I think there's a plus there, but only if he's willing to come on a very reduced salary, which I don't think he's going to be. I think somebody's going to pay him. Somebody like the Bears that's maybe losing Eddie Jackson, who's the next guy on this list, at $13.1 million. He's 30 also, and I don't think that he really played up to his level. 58.6. I think it's probably not his best season. And so some of these guys, it almost seems as though the arrow is trending down. But maybe in this system, maybe if it's the right person, maybe their PFF grade, maybe their stats would be boosted by Bosa, Leonard Floyd, and some of these new guys that we have to rush the passer. You know, Hufanga being back should help, should give the corners a little bit more. The corners should give the safeties a little bit more confidence. And, you know, so the next person on the list is Quandre Diggs, another red flag, got paid $14 million, PFF grade of 55.1. He did play in every single game, but he only had 1 pick, 5 passes defense. He had 95 tackles. Moving down on the list, Micah Hyde, 33 years old, out of Buffalo, $7.1 million. He did have a little bit better PFF grade, 64.4. Played in 14 games, missed 3, 2 INTs, 7 passes defense, 54 tackles. Then we have Tracy Walker out of Detroit. He is under that 30 mark, so I give him a green light there. $9 million. Can't really pay him that much. So all these guys in the red, those salaries, there's no way the Niners could do that, especially with Hufanga and Brown as the presumed starters. PFF grade 62.8. Did play in all 17 games as well. Only started 6, 2 passes defense, 59 tackles. Nothing to write home about there. Marcus May out of New Orleans at that age of 30, 1.4, so he's a little bit more affordable, but only a 57.6 grade there. You can see the stats off to the right there. Jaron Kearse for Dallas. He 6.2 million. I'm not really sure if it's worth it. Definitely not worth it with a PFF grade of 43.1. 16 games he played in, 13 that he started, 1 INT. No, not really a ball hawk there. 4 passes defense. He did have a sack and a half, so blitzing and stuff, he's capable of that. Might be good in a pinch if Brown or Hufanga was down, but I hate that PFF grade. And I do put a lot of stock into PFF grades because they really do dissect the stats. These are advanced stats. They're situational stats. They're compared to some of the people, their peers and stuff like that. So I do put a lot of stock in that. It's not the be-all, end-all, but I do put stock in it. Next guy, Adrian Phillips out of New England, 2.9 million. 1 game, 17 tackles, PFF grade 46.5. Nothing really super appealing there. And Tayshaun Gibson did have the best value, I think, here. If you look at the, minus the age, he's getting up there. He might even retire. I don't know if last year was his last year or if he'd be willing to come back on a deal similar to what he, had last year. 2.9 million, 73.6 PFF grade. He played in 16 games, had a pick, 3 passes defense, did have a sack, 60 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 quarterback hit. That is backup stats there in a pinch. If somebody misses a few games, he knows the system, he's familiar with it. Heading on down the list, Kareem Jackson. I put him in gray because I just feel like at 35, he's probably going to retire. I don't think anybody's going to want him, but he did score high with the PFF grades, third highest, 67.3. Started 8 games, 2 picks, 3 passes defense, 53 tackles. And, I don't know. The age is really concerning there, but he did still play at a decent level for Houston and D'Amico Ryans. Will Harris can play either free safety or strong safety. Only 28 out of Detroit, 1.2, only a 43.8 PFF grade there. And Cody Davis out of New England, probably going to retire too. Not productive. Mostly a special teams player in his career. Not thrilled there. Keanu Neal, also 28 from Pittsburgh, $2 million, 59.6. I think he could potentially be better in this defensive system, so we could get, a 65 out of him or something like that. He started 8 games, had a pick, 2 passes defense, had a fumble recovery, 50 tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. I think he could provide some special teams value. So that might be somebody that they consider. Keanu was, a few years ago, he was a lot better. than he is perceived now. Last guy, Terrell Edmunds, 27 years old, out of Tennessee, under $1 million, and he had a 63 PFF grade. He had 4 games started, a pick, a pass defense, and 48 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss. So, I wasn't really too impressed with the free agent options, but, Gibson, I think, is the best option there, just kind of going through that list. And, a couple days ago, Guy Haberman and Larry Krueger discussed the safety options and sort of discussed the position a little bit in depth. And they went on to talk about some of the rookie options. Larry wasn't too sure about Hufanga and the 49ers' commitment to him. Guy was more confident that the Niners are confident with Hufanga and Brown. I think they both felt confident about Brown's future with the team. They went on to talk about, like I said, some of the rookies. Guy Haberman mentioned Cole Bishop out of Utah, who I had in my previous mock draft. And so anyway, for a multitude of reasons, I think that Gibson would be the best option there. He's familiar with this, best value of the list I provided. So the last question I want to pose to you guys is, how can the Niners upgrade? There's free agencies still available. We got the upcoming draft. Outside of Gibson, the draft is the only way to go, in my opinion. In my latest mock draft video, which I will post, like I said previously at the end of this video, I did draft Cole Bishop out of Utah with pick 94 at the end of the 3rd round. And so, I think there's a lot more options out there. I think that there's some good safety options to back up Brown, to back up Hufanga in the draft. If they want to bring back Gibson just as an insurance policy, that could be a good way to go too. Anyhow, just let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please, give the video a like and subscribe if you want more 49er sports content. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.
Life is what you make it. I feel like I'm amazing. I can't see a way out. I've been stacking face down off canvases I painted. I just spent the rain day on drip I can't afford, but that's the price I pay for the memories I'm making. I've been going places. I've been shaking hands for a chance to really make it. This life is so abrasive, so I almost gave it. All this that I'm laying, it's only the foundation. I've been going crazy, just trying to find a way. I was in the basement, trying to turn the page. I was going through the phase. See my face, I was chasing at the paper, been all it for the ways, with everything again, ain't nothing left to lose. I've been breaking rules, I've been making moves, with everything to prove. Now it's going how I see it through my lens, but it's stuck in my head. I can't seem to get away from it. I went out of my way. I'm trying to feel the I get. I've lost somewhere in my head. I've been out here all on my own. Looking in the mirror for the self-diagnosis. Feel like they really nice me for they ever get to know me. They tell me that you need me, but your action didn't show it. Knowing that you play the angles, and I'm seeing through your motives. Put the weight down on my shoulder, found a way to hold it. I can't keep my focus, barely keep composure. Hard when I've been coping with all the pressure that I fed. Make it hard to hold my head, make it hard to get to sleep. Like I'm slipping from the edge, struggling to get a breath. Right the wrongs with the leg, life is not a guarantee. Just dying by the clip, still prescribed a Dylan mess. Now the way to flee the scene, I've been trying to get a grip onto something out of reach. Life is speeding to a peak, it's how I realize that I'm not the man I wanna be. I've been running for myself, we all afraid to die alone. Scared that's all I ever be. I've been scrolling down a feed, afraid we never get to see the type of liberation that we really need to set us all free. I went out of my way. I'm trying to feel the I get. I'm lost somewhere in my head. Been out here all on my own.